Hi there, and welcome to The Daily Gardener, an almanac of garden history, literature, and small botanical joys. I'm Jennifer Eveling, and today is July 31st. I wrote a little July poem, and in it, I say goodbye to the month, the way you'd say goodbye to a friend who completely exhausts you. I meant every word. And still, I'm already looking forward to next year. I've posted the poem in the Daily Gardener Facebook group, but I thought I'd share a little excerpt with you today. It's called Goodbye July, and it starts with the early summer flowers. Adieu, peony, you blushing girl. You opened for every passing ant and collapsed under the weight of your own feelings. With your color gone now, you're what? Dare I say it? Just a shrub? Arrivederci, clematis, you clinging social climber. You ignored every handhold I ever offered and preferred the stems and branches of whatever was growing nearby. Still, I keep buying trellises at garage sales. I mean, $2. And then the poem ends this way. Goodbye, July, you hot-headed thing. You started cool and then turned into a scorcher. You kept me staking and sweating and hauling hoses through the heat. But every morning, there I was, coffee in hand, caftan around my shoulders, bare feet on the warm garden path, harvesting, cutting, pruning, birds singing at the feeder, and everywhere something was blooming. You gave me all of that. So go ahead. I know you have to leave, but I'll be right here, waiting, counting the days until I welcome you back. Here's today's garden history. It was on this day in 1575 that the English poet and sheriff Simon Steward of the Isle of Ely was born. His poem King Oberon's Apparel became so popular that it inspired a whole series of fairy poems, including several by Robert Herrick. In it, Simon imagined the fairy king dressed entirely in flowers. He wrote, "His belt was made of myrtle leaves, plaited in small curious threaves, beset with amber cowslip studs, and fringed about with daisy buds." And it was on this day in 1860 that the American botanical illustrator Mary Vaux Walcott was born in Philadelphia. Every summer, she escaped to the Canadian Rockies, where she climbed mountains, painted wildflowers, and quietly became one of America's finest botanical artists. In 1900, wearing trousers, Mary became the first woman in Canada to step atop a mountain more than 10,000 feet high. Before she returned to camp, she slipped behind a building and changed back into a dress. She earned the nickname the Audubon of Botany. And finally, in 1909, the American grape geneticist Harold Olmo was born in San Francisco. In his 40s, he left California in search of the oldest grapes in the world. His family called it his Indiana Jones year. His mission was to collect wild grapes that he feared might disappear. He traveled by train, car, and burro through Afghanistan and Central Asia. But driving actually caused him more trouble. He spent several days in a chicken coop that served as a jail after he hit a farmer's donkey while driving through a village. He was held there until he could arrange to pay for another donkey. When he came home, he brought hundreds of grape cuttings to UC Davis. Before he died, war had devastated Afghanistan's vineyards. Harold made sure that descendants of the grapes he saved went home to begin again. Harold patented his final grape variety, and then a few months later, he was gone at the age of 96. It's time to grow that garden library with today's book, Of Gardens, Selected Essays by Paula Dietz. We close Garden Voices and Anthologies Week with a book that feels less like a collection of essays and more like traveling with someone who notices everything. Paula Dietz is the editor of the Hudson Review and a culture critic who has spent more than 30 years writing about art, architecture, gardens, and landscape design for newspapers here and abroad. In Of Gardens, she takes readers from Castle Howard to Kyoto, from the moonlight garden of the Taj Mahal to Central Park. More than 70 essays. No photographs, only language doing the work. My favorite piece is the epilogue. On drizzly winter mornings, Paula looked down from a corner window at yellow school buses moving through Park Avenue. They reminded her, she wrote, of golden carp gliding through a Kyoto garden. Her husband, the poet Frederick Morgan, looked out the very same window at the very same buses and wrote a poem. The same window, the same morning, the same yellow buses in the rain. For Paula, they became a garden. For Frederick, they became a poem. Of Gardens, Selected Essays by Paula Dietz. It's a beautiful way to close Garden Voices and Anthologies Week. And finally, here's something sweet to ignite the little botanic spark in your heart. It was on this day in 1758 that the Swiss botanical painter Rosalie de Constant was born in Geneva. Her father was a writer. Her cousin was Benjamin Constant, the novelist. Her mother died when Rosalie was 8. The next year, a fall broke her shoulder, and she lived the rest of her life with a hunched back. At 14, her father took her to Paris to see the celebrated physician Theodore Tronchin, but he could not help her. Rosalie was also nearsighted, so she spent her life looking very closely at small things held near. She wrote letters to everyone, to her brother, to her cousin Benjamin for 40 years, and to the French writer Bernardin de Saint-Pierre. It seemed everything she loved, she reached through paper. She played the mandolin and the clavichord, and she once dressed up as a botanist for a costume party in Lausanne. She wore oversized spectacles, put flowers in her hair, and carried blotting paper to press a plant. But a pressed flower turns brown over time, and Rosalie regretted that the color always faded. A dried flower simply can't hold its beauty forever, but a still life can. Rosalie worked that out on her own, and somehow she was talented enough to pull it off. On March 23rd, in 1795, she started painting flowers for preservation instead of pressing them. She never looked back. She sketched live flowers in pencil and then picked up a paintbrush, then watercolor paint, and then touches of gouache. She painted campions, gentians, roses, and hundreds of other flowers. And beside each one, she recorded what it was, where it grew, and what it was good for. She worked at it for 37 years. At the end of her life, she was poor. The family money was long gone. Twice she tried to sell her collection of flower paintings, but no one bought it. She left them all to her friend, Charlotte Grenier, who gave them to the Botanical Museum in Lausanne. Someone there bound the paintings into 12 large volumes and unfortunately folded each painted sheet in half to make them fit. The paintings stayed like that for over a century. But between 1988 and 1992, conservators unfolded all of Rosalie's paintings and repaired them, one at a time. And all 1,245 plates were finally published in full. And just as she hoped, her flowers held their color. That was Rosalie de Constant. Her paintings are now held at the Musée Botanique Cantonal in Lausanne. She also wrote sonnets, proverbs, and an unfinished novel. And some of her letters are preserved at the University of Cambridge. Today's book was Of Gardens, Selected Essays by Paula Dietz. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener. And remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day.